Hey everyone, welcome back to Relationship Reset Academy. I'm Michael Flynn, and with over 15 years as a relationship counselor, I've seen it all when it comes to breakups and relationships. Today, we're tackling a question that's been on so many minds. Is your ex really over you, or are they just pretending? In this video, we'll uncover the subtle signs your ex might be putting on a front. From their mixed messages to unexpected behaviors, I'll help you figure out what's really going on beneath the surface. And make sure to stick around until the end, because I'll share the number one sign that almost always reveals the truth about their feelings, and what it means for your next move. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, so you don't miss any of our tips and strategies for navigating love and relationships. Now, let's get into it. Sign number 1. They keep reaching out for no reason. You've probably noticed this one happening more than once. Your ex sends you a random text or gives you a call out of nowhere. The conversation seems to have no real reason, and it feels like they're just checking in. Maybe they say, "Hey, how've you been?" Or, "I saw something that reminded me of you." At first, it might seem harmless, but here's the thing: if they've really moved on, why would they keep reaching out? Here's why they do it. Deep down, they're not truly over you. They're trying to keep you in their life, but they don't want to admit it. They want to be a part of your world, even if they're not fully ready to get back together or even show real interest. It's like they want to keep that emotional connection without the commitment, and they do this through these random, almost meaningless check-ins. But don't be fooled. If they truly wanted to move on, they wouldn't feel the need to contact you just to see how you're doing. They wouldn't find themselves slipping into your DMs or texting you at 10 p.m. just to ask about your day. It's a way for them to stay in your orbit without fully committing or facing the reality that they're not as over you as they want to believe. It's their way of testing the waters without being too obvious about it. When your ex does this, it can leave you feeling confused and uncertain. 1 minute, they're acting like they don't care, and the next, they're reaching out to you for some small reason. But here's the truth. If they were truly done, they'd leave you alone and let you move on too. They're not just being friendly, they're trying to keep that emotional connection alive, even if they don't consciously realize it. Sign number 2, they're posting about new relationships, but it feels off. Another big red flag: your ex posts about their new relationship, or their so-called new beginnings. But if you look a little deeper, something doesn't sit right. You might see them with someone new, but there's a sense that the energy doesn't quite match their words. Maybe the photos seem forced, or they're posting things that come off more like a performance than genuine happiness. You can tell they're trying hard to sell the idea that they're fine, that they've moved on, but there's a certain desperation behind the facade. Let's be real here. When someone has truly moved on, they don't feel the need to keep broadcasting it for everyone to see. But if they're posting constantly about how great things are with someone else, almost as though they're trying to prove something to their ex, or you, then it's likely they're not as over the situation as they want you to believe. It's like they're trying to convince both you and themselves that they're doing just fine. This could manifest in many ways. They might share a picture with a new date, but then it's followed by a post about how much they miss their old life, or learned so much from the past. It's clear they're not as done as they seem to be. They might even share quotes or memes about moving on, yet still have that shadow of longing beneath the surface. When you spot this pattern, take note. This is someone who's still emotionally tethered to you, but they're not ready to admit it. Sign number 3, they keep talking about you, but in the past tense. This one might seem subtle, but trust me, it's a key indicator that your ex hasn't really let go. If your ex continues to talk about you or your past relationship, but always in the past tense, it shows they're still emotionally invested in the time you shared. Let's break it down. When your ex keeps saying things like, "We had such good times together," or "I'll always remember when we did this," they're not just reminiscing, they're holding on to that piece of the past. They're not talking about you as a former partner, they're talking about you as if you still exist in their present emotional world. It's like they're trying to keep you alive in their mind, even though they're supposedly moving on. This is a sign they haven't processed everything yet, and they might still hope for some kind of closure, or even for things to go back to the way they were. What's the takeaway here? If you hear your ex continually bring up shared memories or experiences, take it as a sign that they're trying to keep a foot in the past, emotionally speaking. They might want to believe they're ready to move on, but their heart hasn't gotten the memo. So, what should you do? First, recognize this for what it is, a sign that they're still emotionally attached. If you're interested in exploring a second chance, now's the perfect time to act. Visit romancedictionary.com/x to learn how to use this to your advantage and reconnect with your ex in a meaningful way. Sign number 4. They're showing signs of jealousy. Jealousy. It's not always obvious, but it's one of those emotions that's hard to hide. When your ex shows signs of jealousy, it's a surefire sign they're not over you, no matter how much they may try to convince you otherwise. Jealousy can manifest in different ways. Maybe you've posted something about a new date or a fun day with friends, and your ex starts to react oddly. They might send you a text or comment on your posts with passive-aggressive remarks, or even make snarky comments about the people you're hanging out with. This isn't about them being overprotective, it's about them not being able to let go. They feel threatened because deep down, they're not ready to see you move on. It's important not to get caught in the drama of their jealousy. It's all about control, on their part. They're trying to hold on to something they think they've lost, even though they may have told you they were fine. But guess what? When someone's really over something, they don't feel the need to react to every little thing you do. If you notice your ex getting too emotional about your personal life or the idea of you moving on, it's a sign that they're still emotionally invested. Sign number 5. They're always watching your social media. Social media. It's where people go to present their best selves and, sometimes, to secretly watch someone else. If your ex is constantly liking or commenting on your posts, it's a big sign that they're not as over you as they want to appear. Now, maybe they're acting like it's no big deal, but if you're seeing their name pop up on every post, you have to ask yourself, why are they still paying attention to everything you do? Here's the thing, if they've really moved on, they wouldn't be lurking in the background of your social media, tracking your every move. They'd be busy with their own life, enjoying time with new people, or just not thinking about you at all. But when they're liking your photos, watching your stories, or even commenting on the most random of posts, it's clear that they're emotionally invested in you, even if they won't admit it. They're checking to see what's going on in your life, and maybe even feeling a little jealous if you're hanging out with someone new. And deep down, they want to know if you're still thinking about them, too. They might tell themselves, "Oh, I'm just being friendly," or "I'm just curious." But in reality, they're not over you, and their actions are showing it. Sign number 6. They're still talking about you to mutual friends. When your ex keeps bringing you up to mutual friends or family, it's not a coincidence. If they're still talking about you all the time, discussing what you're up to, and analyzing every move you make, it's because they haven't completely let go. People who are over their ex don't continue to talk about them to others. They simply don't. But if your name keeps coming up in conversations, it's a sign that they're still emotionally attached to you. What makes this even more obvious is that your ex will often bring up your name in ways that aren't just about you. They'll use casual comments or anecdotes about your time together, almost like they're keeping the connection alive through other people. They might even ask your friends how you're doing, or what you've been up to lately. This isn't just harmless chatter, it's a sign they're still trying to stay connected to you, even if it's indirect. They might claim they're over you, but this behavior proves otherwise. They're still holding on to the emotional link that exists between you two, and talking about you to mutual friends is their way of keeping that link alive. If you're wondering how to use these subtle signals to reconnect with your ex and rebuild what you had, make sure to visit romancedictionary.com/x for actionable tips you can start using today. It's time to take control of your story and decide what's next for you. So, now that you know the signs your ex might be pretending to be over you, what are you going to do with that info? First, remember that your ex's behavior isn't your responsibility. If they're keeping you in limbo, it's on them to figure out their own feelings. But it's up to you to take charge of your own life and move forward. If you're feeling confused about how to handle an ex or how to regain control of your emotions, head to romancedictionary.com/x to learn more about what you can do next. And hey, if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and leave a comment below letting me know which of these signs you've noticed in your own situation. Let's keep the conversation going. I'm here to help you reset your relationship and get back on track. And don't forget to check out the links in the description for more ways to get the love life you deserve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.